Hey, Emily.
Yes, Scott.
You remember years ago when we did X and Y on the fly, we'd always do a really flirtatious opener just to kind of tease the show?
I remember those days.
Why don't we do that anymore?
I don't know. I think we forgot to flirt again.
Forgot? Well, we better remember real quickly.
I know, right?
Especially you looking as good as you do.
Aw. No, you should flirt more.
Oh, I should absolutely flirt more. Hey, I got a great idea.
What's that?
Let's start with this episode.
I think that's a great idea.
Let's do it.
All right.
Boom.
Let's get to it.
Live from the mist-enshrouded mountaintop fortress that is X and Y Communications headquarters, you're listening to the world-famous Mountaintop Podcast. And now, here's your host, Scott McKay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Scott McKay.
And I'm Emily McKay.
And we're coming at you with another episode of The Big Show. And this one better be a lot of fun because flirting is not supposed to be work or drudgery, now is it?
No, it's not even supposed to be a thought. It just happens.
Well, it just happens when a man and a woman acknowledge each other as men and women, right?
Yes, and you want to bring each other joy and contentment.
Well, one would hope.
Oh, yes.
Otherwise, it's just going to be creepy if it turns sexual and nobody wants it.
Ooh, yeah, that's different.
Now, we're married, obviously. We've been married for 20 years. And the actual title of this show is We Never Outgrow Flirting.
Even after marriage?
Even after marriage. Some people don't even have sex anymore after marriage. So, I mean, the whole idea of flirting, you know, when you have two people who actually like each other sexually, the flirting gets hot pretty quickly, even though it doesn't have to when you're just out and about. You know, you can turn that dial up with total strangers to the point where it feels reasonable, right? But when you're married, I mean, that should be pretty sexual flirting, shouldn't it?
Well, you would think so, but unfortunately, the reality is you get stuck in a routine. Well, we'll get there. There's a lot of things that get in the way of flirting and we forget. And before you know it, you kind of like drift apart.
we get stuck in a routine. Oh, wait a minute. We'll get there. So we haven't gotten to the routine yet. Are you talking about in the show or in real life?
Both. So we'll dive into the details of what kills flirting, how to keep it alive, so that your relationship stays alive and burning with joy and zeal and excitement.
Does joy, zeal, and excitement rhyme with passion?
Yes.
Hopefully. Okay. All right. So when you and I first met, we were flirting constantly.
Oh, yes. We'd be in the kitchen. You'd tempt me with your spoon.
Well, I mean, even at that IHOP that morning, I started flirting with you. Remember I told you lost a point?
Oh, that was my favorite.
Yes, because you could eat anything like a Hoover vacuum cleaner and never gain an ounce. And I just basically said, yeah, you just lost a point.
Yeah, well, now you cursed me with that one.
Well, I mean, we're 20 years older and...
3 babies later.
3 babies later.
Well, my first hour too.
Well, yeah, you already had one literally under your belt.
I did.
You could still eat anything.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if you remember this. I'm sure you do. You spent about 3 or 4 years asking me if you just made back that point every time you do something cute and flirty.
Oh, that's right. I did, didn't I?
Yeah, so clearly you made back that point because you stopped asking.
I would hope so, yes.
I think you've racked up a jackpot by then.
I also racked up a few pounds, so.
Well, hey, haven't we all? I mean, you know, maybe a few pounds more flirting and sex might be a good podcast for next time.
Okay.
How's that for flirting?
Very much so.
You turned on yet?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Okay, so yeah, you and I like to whack each other on the butt with our bare hands and with other objects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sneak up on each other at the HEB.
Right, and I'm not embarrassed to say that.
By the way, our HEB is code for groceries here in the United States. Well, more specifically, Texas.
Yeah, HEB is a Texas grocery store chain, and it's the first thing people miss when they move outside of South Texas, especially.
Oh, yes, it's
quite good.
It's a Texan thing.
And very suitable for flirting. Whether you know the person yet or not, I love grocery store flirting. You remember what we used to do? We haven't done this in years. You would join me at the grocery store because, you know, you wanted to see me after I'd been away or I'd want to see you after you'd been away all day or whatever. And we just kind of meet together and shop. And I'd play act like I'd never seen you before. And when you walked up to me, I would just grab you and kiss you. And everybody around would be like, oh my gosh, look at those two people. They don't even know each other.
It's been a while. You should do that again.
Yeah. You also used to hug me and hang on me while we were shopping.
Used to. I still do.
Sometimes, but not like you used to. It was a pretty good workout, actually, hauling you around the store on my back while pushing a cart.
Oh, okay. I'll do that again.
Yeah. A few extra pounds and everything, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we'll see 20 years later whether I'm still up to the challenge.
An extra workout.
Right. Exactly. So I think for a lot of people, flirting is a workout. It's tough.
Yes, and especially if couples have already drifted apart and their feelings are starting to become more neutral.
I wonder how many couples go to counseling and ask the therapist, what's wrong with our marriage? Why are we like this? And I wonder how many therapists have the wherewithal just to suggest they flirt with each other again. Because that's easy and cheap.
Oh, absolutely. Well, one thing about flirting,
And the cheaper, the better, actually.
Does a couple really neat things to the brain? The first one is you're doing something to cause someone to feel happy and renewed. And anyone who does that to you makes you feel more affectionate towards them.
Are they doing that to you or for you?
Both. To you and
it's kind of
for
the
you.
sexual threat thing again that we talk about on the podcast. Threat in a good way.
Right? And I think
It's a thrill.
I think the second part of that is when you're doing things for others, it also invigorates your own passion for them. Because when you start doing things for people, you're starting to care. And when you start to care, it does something to the brain internally to make you desire them more.
What an interesting concept of flirting because I care. Because a lot of times, especially nowadays in the society we live in and everybody being so angry all the time and, toxic masculinity and men are all bad all the time and women are just being abused by the patriarchal dudes out there, et cetera, I think we've forgotten to realize that flirting was supposed to be enjoyable and fun and actually a benevolent act, a gift, not something that's creepy and predatory.
No, it is a gift. It's a gift to say, I love you. I care about you. I want to make your day better. I want to make your life the best it could be. I'm granting you that joy.
In a relationship, I love you.
Yes.
Not the first time you've ever seen someone at the gas station, I love you.
That's entirely different, yes.
That's kind of a rookie mistake. Hey, baby, I love you. Are you the one? That would be a very, very poor way to start flirting. That would be like cranking a stereo to 10, then flipping the on switch and just shocking everybody out of the room.
Oh, boy.
That'd be bad. Women won't feel safe and comfortable.
No, but in a healthy relationship, this is a good thing.
All right, so a couple gets together. Hopefully the couple likes each other when they get together, although I know people marry for all sorts of wrong reasons. But let's assume they actually have a romantic spark going on. The day they meet, it continues to build, it glows brighter. They walk down the aisle and they're actually happy to be together. Okay? The myth, the legend, perhaps sometimes the hard, cold fact is that when we get married, the blowjobs definitely stop, and then the sex slows down, and then the whole honeymoon house of cards falls apart from there. But we've shouted from the rooftops for years, it doesn't have to be like that, especially so soon. I don't think you're having sex 4 times a day till you're 80 years old, if for no other reason than purely physical ones. But shouldn't a couple at least want to flirt? Even if they fall out of the habit or they get too complacent over time?
I think the reminder to do so is really important because, like I said earlier, we get into patterns and we forget and we get busy. We go to work. We're there 40, 50, 60 hours, not to mention the commute of, the stress. You had stress. All of a sudden you get home. You're just trying to decompress. The last thing you're thinking of is flirting and letting the other person know how important they are to you. You're just stuck in your own brain. And then before you know it, life goes by. It's 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, and you don't know where you went.
1 year, 2 years, 10 years, 1 kid, 2 kids, 10 kids?
Hopefully not 10.
Well, the kids can put a damper on the flirting also. I mean, our 14-year-old daughter goes, oh my God, Mom, Dad.
Gross.
Are you talking about that again? And we didn't even know she was there. And we weren't even saying anything really all that horrifying, at least to us,
She was like, what are you talking about? Nothing.
And it's like the 14-year-old, really? Yeah, well, she's got her own lessons to learn. But hopefully not from her parents. I don't know. Why not?
I know, right? Why not? She should know that that is how couples should be.
Right. Well, I mean, we shouldn't just be an old married couple who has absolutely no spark at all and no feelings for each other. A lot of people do say, however, that they can't imagine their parents having sex. That's very, very common.
I mean, like the Ropers on Three's a Company. Remember that?
Well, she was always imagining sex.
Yes.
Audra Lindley's character.
And he was like, oh, no.
Yeah, hilarious.
Yes.
So stereotypical. I don't know. I think we should model for our kids how to treat each other like men and women, respectively, in a relationship, and how to show affection for each other and show mild, I don't know, romantic interest, if not sexual interest.
Right. Without being PDA.
Right. Yeah. Without being weird and creepy.
Right.
I mean, there are boundaries when you're showing kids how parents might interact with each other when they actually love each other. But maybe that's why so few parents actually actively model that. Not because they don't want to, but because they fear looking creepy in front of their kids. When in reality, that's kind of a valuable lesson, for preteens and teens especially, isn't it?
I know. We're the model for their future relationship. Think about that. Do we want their relationship to be sterile and dull and boring? Or do we want them to see what a healthy, happy, loving relationship looks like?
Right. That doesn't have to turn sexual. It's just about expressing affection. And like you said, flirting is supposed to be a gift. It's supposed to be something I do for you, not to you. Something that makes you feel better, not worse. So compliments and telling you look good, and I don't know where whacking each other on the ass falls on the continuum there in front of the kids.
Or sending a quick little text. I was just thinking about you. Calling in the middle of lunchtime on your lunch break. Hey, I just had an hour or 30 minutes. Just wanted to hear your voice.
Right. And then we could text each other the naughtier things when the kids are around so that they can't see them.
Like, now I think it's the time for you to kiss me.
Yeah, something like that. That happened on our
second date.
Wow, we kissed on the second date. Very
Guess
good.
we did, didn't we?
That's right. And it was all done by text because I was feeling cheeky and naughty.
Yes.
Now, when you're a married couple, obviously you're allowed to have sex. Yeah, nobody's going to stop you. There's no moral high ground to be taken there. You're free to go do the wild thing whenever you want. So the word naughty being associated so often with flirting, it's a little more difficult to mine those opportunities to be naughty when you're actually married, because the sex itself isn't going to be naughty. It's like, we're allowed to do this. Everything's cool. So you got to find new and interesting situational elements to help you flirt more and feel naughty, don't you?
Oh, we've done a few of those.
Yeah, we may or may not disclose them. We may glow-mar all of them. Like, I can neither confirm nor deny that we've done naughty things on a commercial flight or in a bathroom at the Vatican or...
What? I don't remember that.
Of course not, because it never happened. But we did have maybe had sex on top of the roof on our honeymoon when anybody could have walked in.
Wait, not the garden, right?
No, too prickly. I've already said too much. There's people out there listening to this going, man, you two are so lame. That's the best you got? Well, actually, it's not the best we got.
This is just PG.
Yeah, back when we were trying to make babies, a lot of flirting was happening.
We won't even go there.
Well, we will. We were actually going there. We were on our way to an international vacation, and you said, I'm fertile, it's time. And we hauled off and rented the meeting room at the United Airlines lounge at IAH and basically said, do you think we can get away with this if we pull the blinds because it's all windows? We got away with it.
Yeah, we made a baby.
Yeah, well, it actually worked. I mean, that was mission accomplished all the way around. Probably a little bit more than flirting, but it was fun to flirt on the flight to Houston in anticipation of what was about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Truly naughty.
Truly naughty. So situation elements can help make marital flirting naughty. And, I don't think you ever outgrow that. You may outgrow your ability to outrun the police.
Yeah, you might want to try to stay within the legal bounds and not get yourself in trouble.
Yeah, something like that. But again, I'm neither confirming nor denying anything probably in this entire podcast.
Right.
Except that I love you and I think you're cute. I will shout that from the rooftops. But the rest of it, hey, you know what? This is for entertainment purposes only. We're not trying to teach anybody anything. Of course not. All right. So as we move on in our relationship, it's not like one day we get into an argument and stop flirting forever. I mean, or is it? I mean, that can happen, right? You got to forgive each other if you get into a knockdown, drag out fight, because not only will you stop relating, even if you smooth it over and become quote unquote friends again, what ends up happening is you've blown out that fire. You've quenched that spark. That can happen, can it?
It can. And you know, the true test of love is even when you are the most angry with each other, you can still demonstrate that love through flirtation. For example, you know, you're angry at each other, you're not talking, but she needs help taking out the trash. So you come around and pick up the trash, you throw it out. And she's like, without a word being said, I know, honey, I know this is difficult for you. I'll take care of it. Without words being said. Or, you know, you're in the car together and she's upset. Just touching her, let her know you still care. You know,
well, that's an olive branch.
Yes, but still that shows I may be angry at you, but I still love you. You know, I'm still here.
Well, I was hoping we were going to talk about anger flirting because that can be even better.
Well, that can lead to some passion, doesn't it?
Yes, that can lead up to the legendary makeup sex, of course. But let's talk about anger flirting. Anger flirting, the whole concept reminds me of an episode of House one time, you know, where he and Cuddy, who's his ex-wife, still flirt with each other, but they're both very prickly people. Oh, yes. So one time he shouted something down to her while she was leading a group tour or something. And one of the interns said, oh, those two can't stand each other. And the other one kind of whispered in their ear, no, that's foreplay. Because, you know, they were kind of just insulting each other and tearing each other up. I think anger flirting can be helpful if you have a trust environment. And you're just kind of bickering and you're sick of what they did. But it's like, you know, you're lucky I still think you have a nice ass. Or, you know, you might need a spanking after we're done with this conversation or something like that.
I know. I take that on a little bit of a different twist. Anger flirting isn't exhibiting love, but showing love while you're both angry at each other is a different thing. A lot of lust.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. But you have to have the makeup sex, and I think there has to be some sort of anger flirting before you can pound it out together.
I think that comes from the desire of, you know, we're mad at each other, and the fear of separation or the fear of where is this going really turns on the I need the physical contact.
Something like that. I just don't think you and I have enough experience at what we're talking about to really discuss it effectively.
Yeah, the anger sex I don't comprehend.
Okay. Yeah, we've had makeup sex a couple times, but mildly.
Mildly, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that comes from the need of wanting to feel the satisfaction that we're safe, we're good, we're okay.
What about I really just can't freaking stand you right now, but I still think you're hot. So let's flirt and then have sex and just really just angrily pound each other senseless.
That's lust, not love.
Was that allowed if you're married?
You just fried my circuits.
I did.
I don't know.
Is that like in the old days, like in the 80s and 90s when women would accuse their husbands of rape? Is that like a situation where the husband bends her over and pounds her because he's mad at her? That would be marital rape, probably, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If she doesn't consent.
It has to be consensual, regardless. And I would hope the relationship is based on love. And in doing so, the whole premise is I need to care for this person's emotional well-being.
I think you're absolutely right on point. I don't think couples should ever start truly despising each other and then start having sex about it. You know what I mean? That's probably over the top, although it may have a miraculous cure effect. But nevertheless, I think if couples trust that the other one is not going anywhere and they get into a tiff, it might not be the worst idea in the world to go have some good hard sex over it.
Right. I knew a couple who they used to fight when they were teenagers. They got married as adults. Well, they managed to get together as adults and got married. They still fought for most of their marriage. And she would make something of a comment of, she loved him so much. Something about them getting heated and angry just fueled some sort of a passion for each other because, they were married for decades until death do them part. And that's their relationship. And they loved each other, passionately. And
she had the bruises on her thighs to prove it.
They didn't fight physically. They were just verbally, what's the word I'm looking for? Just verbally loud.
Well, I think My reference just went right over your head. Maybe we need to put more bruises on your thighs.
Ah, yes.
Soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
The whole rule of thumb thing. Yeah. All right. So as far as couples kind of losing that spark gradually, what's the wake-up call? Do you wake up someday and go, good God, man, we're not flirting anymore. Let's start doing it. Or, is this kind of a frog that gets boiled over time and people just stop doing it and they don't even really miss it? What's the wake-up call? What do we need to do if we're listening to this, the royal we are listening to this podcast and we want to kind of spark things up again? Or we're in a new relationship and we're thinking to ourselves, man, I don't ever want to be there. I don't want to be at that point. God help us all. Or someone's single and they're looking forward to being in a relationship one day. And I hope we're not talking them out of it. I mean, how do you catch yourself? Where's the safety net? Where do you recover?
No matter where you are on this spectrum of 1 through 10, it's never too late. So if you're at a beginning point and you're flirting all the time, that's great. There, you should just be mindful to keep it going and understand that there may be a point in time they go, oops, we kind of slowed down on this. Let's speed it up again. If you've been together for, a decade or two, things are going to happen. This is just part of life. It's okay to go back and say, what did we used to do? I remember we called each other all the time. Every second we would find, we were thinking about each other nonstop and couldn't wait for that phone to ring. And I can't wait to hear his magical voice. And I can't wait to hear that sexy girl. Those are the things that we need to go back to. How do we resurrect that? Simple. We start by doing. So send a simple text, maybe a little flirty. Call in the middle of lunchtime. Call when it's least expected. And exercise some flirtation. Go out to dinner. Have a dinner date. I think some people haven't had dates in a while. Time to do a date again. Find something creative. Karaoke. Do something that's an activity. Pickleball's a new activity nowadays. Matter of fact, some of them have social events that go with it.
And you haven't lived till you've been whacked on the butt with a pickleball paddle.
I know, right? This is a great time to do the little things. They don't have to be giant, monumental things. They don't have to be a big, giant bouquet of flowers. You don't have to wait till it's her birthday or his birthday. Just do it just because. It doesn't have to be a special event.
Wow, you said several very important things there. First of all, don't wait till a special occasion. And if you've relegated flirting to only on special occasions, here is your wake-up call. It's happening. It's happening in your relationship. If it's only a special occasion thing when you even flirt with each other, yeah, let's start doing that on an everyday basis. Second of all, everything you mentioned wasn't expensive, and you can start doing it now without props, without the need for any heavy equipment or electronics other than your smartphone. You only really need your mouth. You really only need your eyebrows. You only really need to have a look or a glance, a furtive glance over saying, hey, you know what? That little growl that you do is very cute. That one, yeah. And those kind of things, someone has to start doing it again. That is the motion. Someone has to get out of this prideful inertia, which is what it might be, that, that's for kids. That was when we were newlyweds. Why would we want to do that again? And usually that has to be the man.
And sometimes it may take the other person a while to reciprocate. So you're going to have to try this multitudes of times before they go, oh, it's kind of like getting a slap in the face. Like, oh, wait, I'm supposed to text back? Oh, I'm supposed to say hello? Yes, I love you too. Sometimes it takes them a little while to wake up because they've kind of been dormant for a little while.
Yeah, that slap in the face would definitely be anger flirting. That'd be a great example.
Yeah, I've been sending you lovely texts and you ignored me. How dare you?
Whack. Yeah. Now, you bring up another point there, which is even though the man is probably going to need to be the one to initiate, not always. I mean, women, if you're listening to this on the X and Y on the Fly feed, absolutely start. I bet you your man will rise up to meet you. But women love fun, and men tend to be allergic to fun, like we've talked about ad nauseum on this show. So, guys, you're going to have to go ahead, get off a top dead center, break that inertia, like we've been talking about, and take a little bit of what feels like a risk and flirt. And I can tell you, if your woman in your life cares about you, you're still happily married, you're in love, this is not going to be received poorly. And if it is, it's only going to be because it's a shock to her system, right, Emily?
Oh, absolutely. And women, if you're sending out these messages and doing things to be flirtatious and it's not being received the way you would like it to be, then it's time to sit down and say, hey, I'm trying to resurrect our passion between us. Have a conversation. He may be totally thick-headed and not understanding the importance of it. Flirting is a way of saying, you are important to me. I matter to you. We are together. It's a way of reassuring safety and security, and we all need that. That's very important. It lets the other person know just how important they are. And lastly, if you don't flirt, and you don't put the time to let the other person know how important they are, how awesome they are. You did something great today. Thank you so much for doing that. That really mattered to me. Somebody else will and make them feel important, and you run the risk of losing that person.
Wow. Yeah, that's where predatory people who want to bang your wife come into the picture. They start appreciating her.
Or
telling her she's beautiful and complimenting her.
Or the lady at work is making him feel like, she's helping him and being his cheerleader and replacing you because you're not doing it.
Yeah, you're not supporting him. You're not bringing feminine gifts. Yeah, that can go both ways. That's a profound point. And if a guy is not rising up to meet you in the flirting department, or guys, if you're trying to flirt with a woman and she's not having any of it, she's still kind of in a fear-based mentality over there, yeah, sometimes you need that conversational frying pan upside the head. Hey, here's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to flirt with you. Have you noticed? And it may be like they flip a switch and go, oh, that's what you were doing. Man, I'm like so numb to that nowadays, it didn't even register. I didn't even recognize what you were trying to do. It may be that simple. Or maybe you'll have a good conversation about what the sticking point is. Maybe it'll be something that you should have talked about ages ago, but now is finally on the table.
These are the things that keep the relationship going.
Yeah. One last question I have for you. What if a couple has somehow gotten married and they look at themselves having listened to this episode and say to each other, I'm not sure we ever really started flirting. We kind of just had that kind of relationship where we were together.
Started out as friends, right?
Netflix and chill, and just were together, and one day said, hey, let's have sex, let's make babies, let's get married, but we've never really been flirtatious. They may be thinking, why bother? What have I been missing out on? What's the value here? Why even start now, especially for 1, 5, 10 years in or more?
Because these are the things that makes the relationship wonderful. These are the luxuries in life. So you may buy a car and it either could be basic or medium, or it could be the luxury of the highest end of luxury cars. Flirting is the luxury of relationships. It's the glue that keeps things together. But the love, the flirting, that is the luxury. And to keep it together, you need the foundation of making it happen.
I love what you said. And I think that's the mic drop for this whole episode. Flirtation isn't work. Flirtation isn't a job. Flirtation isn't something we should dread. And when done right, in the correct context, and marriage is certainly that, it's not creepy, unwanted, or predatory. It's luxurious. And that means we should luxuriate in the pleasure of flirting. Luxury should be something that brings pleasure and comfort to us. That's what luxury means. And if we're not luxuriating in each other and showing it with flirtation, that's something we need to address in our marriage.
Yeah, because you don't want to miss out on that.
Yeah, definitely. Good one. Yeah, I knew there was a reason I liked you. All right. Ladies, if you're listening to the X and Y on the Fly feed, go to scotandemily.com. These days, that's the whole URL. SCOT&Emily.com. We always want to hear from you. And if you want to get on our calendar and talk for free for 25 minutes about how to spice up your relationship or anything else you have going on related to masculinity, femininity, or dating or relationships, hey, we're here for you. Gentlemen, you're listening to the Mountaintop Podcast feed. Check it out. I have a brand new report for you called 5 Things You Can Do Right Now to Get Better with Women. Flirting probably should have been one of them, but I'm not sure that doesn't take a little bit of training and practice. These are things that you can flip the switch and just start doing. Nothing to memorize, nothing to learn. That is yours free when you sign up for my newsletter at mountaintoppodcast.com. And gentlemen, the same invitation applies. Get on my calendar. You can talk to me or you can talk to both of us, and we will help you put a plan together, whether you're single, just coming off a divorce or a breakup, or in a relationship. We can do that for you. We have 20 years now of experience in it.
Absolutely. Been at it for a while.
Been walking the talk.
Absolutely.
And flirting the flirt.
Time to go flirt.
Time to do that. Yes, absolutely. Probably a little more. It's amazing how that happens sometimes after these shows. Anyway, all of that and more is there for you ladies at scotandemily.com and for you gentlemen at mountaintoppodcast.com. And until we talk to you again on the next big show, this is Scott McKay.
And this is Emily McKay.
Be good out there.
And have fun.
The Mountaintop Podcast is produced by X&Y Communications. All rights reserved worldwide. Be sure to visit www.mountaintoppodcast.com for show notes. And while you're there, sign up for the free X&Y Communications newsletter for men. This is Ed Roy Odom speaking for the Mountaintop Podcast.